when there's no more room in hell.
The dead will start a podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of No More Room in Hell, number 70. This is Mike. Joining me as always, it's Mr. Venom. What's up, Venom?
Greetings and salutations, Gen X horror fans. Yeah, I've gotten a total of 4.5 hours sleep over the last 2 days, so I may go hysterical halfway through the show. Let's see, fingers crossed.
And that's before we even get to these movies. Also with us, it's Derek. What's up, Derek?
It's time to start the podcast where we talk about a peddler and a vampire.
What a combination. What's up, guys? What's going on? I think we're all beat. It's a Friday evening. We haven't even gotten in any weekend rest for those of us that even get rest on the weekends. But what's new with everyone? Anything of note to talk about?
Fantastic.
Man, just working. Work. I mean, that's going to be what I've been up to for at least a few months because the store or the chain of stores that I work for hasn't had a merchandise manager for a couple of months before I started. So I basically got thrown to the wolves. So I'm like dealing with like overly filled stock rooms where a human being doesn't even have enough room to walk in. Like you're going in between pallets, you're climbing over pallets. I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm going to be catching up on missed work, not my work, but somebody else's missed work for at least a couple of months. So sadly, no fun for me, though I do have some Disneyland tickets that I'm probably going to use in December. So that'll be my fun.
Nice. And you're close enough too, so it's not like a major ordeal to get there.
Yep, yeah. 45-minute drive. It's awesome.
Cool. What about you, Derek? Anything new?
I just been fucking, like we were talking off here. I actually just got back to mornings. I was a vampire for the last month, like doing inventory at my store. I work for Home Depot, by the way, multi-billion-dollar company. Let's just put 4 people on an inventory team. And yeah, you know. But anyways, enough of that for Home Depot people listen to this podcast. Yeah, you never know. But I'll go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I'm still in the same job, but unfortunately, I did get a big team meeting where they talked about switching to a new billing system that will automate a lot of the process we do, and it sounds like sometime next year they're like in all likelihood it's going to eliminate 2 to 3 positions on the team. So I'm looking at the numbers and the fact that I'm the newest on the team. I'm like, damn, I could be on the chopping block now. That doesn't necessarily mean like I'm on the chopping block from the company, because like, you know, I can still like go to the job board and look for other stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, and they give the spiel of like, it doesn't necessarily matter what you do. Like, if your specific task gets automated, that doesn't mean you're the actual one that's going to necessarily like get chopped. But like, I have like, to me, it's like, well, they're probably going to do by seniority. Like, if it was only one position going away, I wouldn't be as worried. But 2 to 3, I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to be one of the 3. That is just my guess. Mm-hmm. But they said probably like quarter 2 or 3 of next year. So it's like, at least I'm not getting ambushed, you know, way up front. But I mean, it goes by faster than you think. That's the problem.
Yeah. Get that resume and LinkedIn profile updated.
Yeah, I mean, my preference is to stay with the company if at all possible, because here's my biggest fear. We're now what, like 4 or 5 years past like the pandemic, and I just don't think remote work opportunities are at that same level that they were. So my guess is if I'm unable to stick with the company, all likelihood is I'm going to end up back in like an office or a building. And it's not that I absolutely hate that. It just goes back to like the old way of having to do things with having kids, where it's like, oh God, it's like who has to do this, who has to do that, who leaves work early if this happens, because like all that is not a concern right now, because I'm home and my work is pretty flexible with me being able to do that stuff. But you get so comfortable and used to it that the thought of going back to like, oh, I actually have to like ask permission to like pick up a kid early from school, it's like, oh man. But we'll see. We'll see. I figured since we're all talking about work, I'm like, oh, I'll add my work news. And so,
You can come work with me at Home Depot, Mike. It's okay.
I mean, we got him out here too. I'll be like, hey, can you take a reference from someone at a different Home Depot in another state?
We'll start you off at $10 an hour. Let's go to work.
Ugh. That's illegal in California.
Yeah, I don't even think they can do that out here.
17, baby.
Yeah, I think it's to here too. So I was just
Oh, you got that? All right. No, that's
yeah.
Derek, are you on the end of summer weather out there, or is it still like hot?
There's some muggy. Like today was kind of hot. Yesterday was kind of muggy. A few days kind of cold though.
Okay.
Before that,
Yeah,
it's like a
because
mix.
it's that time of the year where I see like everyone posting like, oh, spooky season stuff time, and I'm sitting over here like, man, the only thing spooky here is the fact that it's still hot. Like, it does look like it's going to start cooling down, but I think we were at like 90, 92 today. So.
I still have my AC in my window. I don't give a fuck. I would keep that in all year round if I could.
Yeah, I try to keep it off during the like I can brave it when I'm home by myself, but once like my wife gets home, it's like there's no way we're not turning it on because it's just too hot in here for like everybody. But
Oh yeah.
and then honestly, my preference is to run it all the time too. It's just that I hate paying that energy bill. Like it's so expensive in summer months here because it's like it just never is going to stop running when it's hot 24/7.
That's why you get one on an Energizer Bunny.
I'll my guess is before next summer I'll have our AC like get one of those maintenance checks just to make sure there's not any old outdated parts that keep it from being more efficient, because that could
I'll just buy a fucking new one.
Oh yeah, it's that'll be fun looking at how much that costs with the
Well,
installation.
I work at Home Depot, so I know how much they cost.
Well, if you got a friends and family discount, send me the link.
No Home Depot discounts. Employees get discount.
Damn.
Ouch.
Well, that's unfortunate.
They make up on the benefits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the benefits help. It's like having a wage, but that's a lot of workplaces do that anyway. They call it like a comprehensive wage, where they include like everything you get, not just like your actual money.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Back
now that
to
we've
the work
all
podcast.
we've gone through all our working routines and days and issues.
Coming soon, Office Space podcast.
I think we've watched some stuff too, so I guess we can talk about what we've been watching lately. So, Venom, we'll start with you. What you got?
All right. The first thing I'm bringing to the table is my favorite movie that I watched in the month of September. And that's saying a lot because I really, really enjoyed The Long Walk. If you heard the Fresh Cuts episode, you know that I was the highest of the three of us, and I absolutely just adored that film. But my favorite film of September is definitely a guilty pleasure. It is the Toxic Avenger remake. Friends, first of all, I saw the Toxic Avenger literally the month after it was released. It was released in New York, obviously, from Troma Studios back in 83 or 84. I forget the exact year. And then it played at a small theater in Southern Connecticut about a month after that. And I saw it and I absolutely loved it. I mean, literally from that day on, I was a Troma stan for the rest of my life. And honestly, I still am. I still love Troma. And this movie, man, it basically gave me everything I wanted. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a masterpiece, a 10 out of 10, not at all. But it's gory, it's practical, it's funny, it's legitimately funny. Peter Dinklage, just a great job, and I love the way they modernized it a little bit. You know, they got rid of the kind of the bullying factor of, you know, if you guys remember the original with Marvin being the janitor at that health spa, you know, constantly being berated by the club members, the club owner, everything, even the mayor of Tromaville. This one, it's a little bit different. Peter Dinklage plays Winston. He is a janitor at a pharmaceutical company, not so much bullied, so much as ignored, as a little person janitor probably would be at a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And then he gets himself involved in some eco-terrorism accidentally, didn't intend to do it, and gets himself tossed into a vat of toxic waste, turning him into the Toxic
Avenger.
Oh my God, friends! I had, like I said, I had a really good time with this one. This, you know, if you're a fan of the original, I don't think there's any reason not to like this one. Like I said, Peter Dinklage is great. The gore is great. I mean, you could almost make the argument that it's gorier than the original. I know the original had some great kills with the little kid on the bike and the gym, you know, that machine that Nautilus machine that cut that guy's head into two pieces. That was awesome. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we get some great gore. We get a decent little story. I mean, the story is nothing to write home about, but, you know, like I said, got some eco-terrorists, some social justice warriors trying to bring down this corporation run by Kevin fucking Bacon, who, by the way, God, what a great job as the villain of this movie. Just a spectacular job, I thought. And even Elijah Wood playing his kind of slimy little brother. Again, just a spectacular job. I mean, almost everything Elijah Woods does is entertaining. I don't remember the last time I saw him in a bad movie. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to say too much about it. Like I said, if you're familiar with the original movie, then you're going to be familiar with this one. You know, a lot of the same, you know, toxic waste cover-ups and blah, 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 those kinds of theories that were explored in the original. But just like I said, modernized kills, some really funny parts. Just overall, like I said, not my favorite movie of the year. Probably not even a top 10, honestly. This is solidly a guilty pleasure. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say this is a masterpiece, but this is probably this and The Monkey are probably my biggest guilty pleasures of the year. And honestly, The Monkey being written and directed by Oz Perkins, honestly, it's not really a guilty pleasure, but this one very solidly is. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not sure if either of my co-hosts saw it yet or not, but I'll let them chime in if they did.
I didn't, but I wanted to. It's just very limited screenings here. It was like, go see it at 10 o'clock at this time on this night,
yeah,
or
it's
or
the same
you can't
thing
see
here,
it.
man. Plus, I was fucking working overnight, so
yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it should be hitting VOD soon. I can't imagine it's going to be that much longer. I mean, I think it's still in. It might, at least in LA, it's still in a couple of theaters. I doubt it's still in theaters nationwide. So I would say look for it on VOD soon. And like I said, whether you're a fan of the original or not, I still say check this one out. This was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. So
nice.
That's it for me.
Man, considering 28 years later is already on Netflix, you would think like something like Toxic Avenger would
exactly.
come to VOD quick.
Well, it depends on like who fucking actually releases it as streaming. I think what is it, Cineverse?
Yeah. You would
So
think Shudder or Screenbox would be like.
I think usually Screenbox usually picks up a lot of Cineverse stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well. We'll find a way to get it, or I'll just buy it when it hits physical. In all honesty, I kind of want to buy it anyway. So,
hell yeah, especially the steelbook looks fucking sick. So,
yeah, exactly.
All right, Derek, you're up.
Okay, So we're going to talk about this movie that I saw that Venom actually, I think, talked about the last episode. Finally got a chance to see this because it actually kind of piqued my interest when he talked about it, and that's Strange Harvest. Man, what a fucking cool movie. I fucking like it starts out it's very like mocking like fake documentary style found footage, which I'm
Hmm.
actually a huge fan of, like movies like not like yeah, like Mongo and The Tunnel,
Hmm. Yep.
kind of in that style, which I kind of dig about it. But the crazy thing about it is like they actually show like the crime scene shit, which I wasn't expecting, and it kind of irked me, especially some of those dead bodies at the beginning on the tied to the table.
Yeah.
That was fucked. It's a cool concept, and I like kind of like the mystery of like what was going on with the Smiley character, which
Hmm.
was kind of cool in the aspect of like with the investigation. It was kind of hokey though. Some of the interview, like the beginning where the fucking one of the cops was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to be a cop. I wanted to be a punk rock band." But then my friend was in the cops and was like, "Hey, this looks cool. Let me do this." I'm like, "Bullshit, you motherfucker." But anyways, I highly dug it. Thanks for
Yeah.
the recommendation, Venom. It was really cool.
I mean, anyone who's seen it, once you see the end of it, you'll know why I recommend it so highly. I am, I'm a big fan of these types of movies. I'm not going to say what it is because it might be a little bit of a spoiler. But yeah, when we get that final scene, my eyes just lit up, and it was kind of like the first time I saw a record of Sweet Murder. I don't know how many people out there have seen a
Yeah,
record of Sweet Murder. It's very similar to Strange Harvest, but obviously Strange Harvest has that mockumentary style, which same thing with me. I love the Christopher Guest movies. I mean, I just saw Spinal Tap 2 and had a good time with it. So yeah, that style is something that I definitely get into. But yeah, it's the endings. I mean, the movie is brutal. I mean, what's funny is that one of the most brutal scenes in the movie isn't even all that gory. It's the scene where he goes into the teenage girl's bedroom and just unceremoniously shoots her in the face. Like I was shocked. I was literally in the theater. Like, did they just show us that? Holy shit!
yeah. And then she wakes up. I'm like, what the
And then
fuck?
she gets up. I know. Oh my god, what a badass. Oh god, yeah. I really had a good time with that movie. That's like my Nefarious of the year, where Nefarious was like my big surprise hit of a couple of years ago. I got a funny feeling that Strange Harvest is going to be that sleeper hit for me this year. Don't be surprised if that ends up in my top 10 this year.
Nice.
All right. My my first up is another one that I wanted to check out in the theater, but kind of same situation. Very limited screenings. It is also a remake, sort of, and that would be the new Witchboard. So
Oh boy.
yeah, it's kind of funny because like I don't know if it's like this for like AMC and like the other major chains, but it's almost like they show you trailers frequently enough that it makes you think that there's going to be more availability. But then, like, sometimes when these movies actually get released, it's like, hey, remember that trailer we showed you over and over before every other horror movie? Yeah, you actually have to come see it like
Yeah, that happened with
one
that
night.
fucking shitty fucking Kid Harington werewolf movie.
Yeah. Yeah, for the amount of times they advertised it, I would have thought, okay, it's at least give me a week to like get there. But no, it was like a one night thing. So I ended up watching it hit VOD, and yeah, it's I wouldn't. It's okay. Now I haven't seen the actual original Witchboard in a long time. I don't remember
Since
it
we reviewed
being.
it.
Yeah, I don't remember thinking it was that hot. This one, it's kind of like a remake and name only because it doesn't really follow the same plot necessarily. I mean, there's a board, there's a witch involved. She's basically trying to use the magic to escape her perils in her time to uh, take over like the body of someone in modern times to like escape her fate. And that's about it when it comes to the plot. The thing is almost 2 hours long. That's probably its biggest mistake because there's just a whole lot of like I don't know, filler in this that doesn't need to be there. This should be like a 90-minute and you're gone movie because there's just not a whole lot to it. Um, have either of you seen it yet?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I would put this like on low priority. Like it's disappointing because like I thought they actually cut like a decent trailer for it. I mean, that's why I was a little bit excited to see what they were gonna do with the remake because usually a lot of times with like remake trailers, I'm just like, what? But this one, I was like, oh, it actually looks like it's going to be its own thing, so maybe they'll do something. It's like there's a few good elements about it, but it's all the stuff you would expect from a movie called Witchboard. Like there's the obvious stuff that they're going to do with like well, I don't know if I would call it haunted, but like a black magic board and all that kind of stuff. There is some decent like blood and gore, but other than that, yeah, I wouldn't rush out or rush into your living room at this point to see it. So, yeah, not much else to say without spoiling it. But since I'm the only one that's seen it, no reason to keep talking about it. So, Venom, back to you.
All right. My next movie is actually a slightly older movie. This movie comes to us from 2023. But the reason I wanted to watch it is because its sequel just recently had a one night screening in theaters, which I did not make it to, unfortunately. I had to work, sadly. But I accidentally saw a piece of the trailer and I thought it looked kind of interesting. So I decided to watch the original, like I said, from 2023. This one is called The Jester. And of course, The Jester 2 just released in theaters probably like a week and a half ago. I think it only had like a 1 or 2 night run. So, like I said, I missed it. But I knew that I was going to watch it. So I figured, let me go ahead and watch the first one because I hadn't watched it. And, I'm the kind of guy who wants to, complete the series before I, get into future chapters. And I gotta say, this was the surprise of the month for me. Like, I was expecting this thing to be just a cheesy, low budget, terribly acted, stupid villain horror film, like a slasher type movie. This movie had a lot more substance than I thought it would have. I mean, this thing reminded me more of like when I saw it, I thought it was just going to be another clown in a cornfield or one of those other kind of cheesy slashers that we've been getting lately. But this thing ended up being more like the Babadook. Like this movie actually had a statement. Like, yes, the Jester himself is a fairly cheesy villain. He doesn't speak. He just looks like a normal guy underneath, behind a mask and an orange suit. It's not even truly like a clown suit. It's just like almost like a carnival barker type suit, but then with the Jester, very evil looking Jester mask. And it basically follows a woman. This movie does take place on Halloween night, so it might be a good October watch for people who haven't seen it. I'm assuming that's why The Jester 2, recently hit theaters. But yeah, this one is about two estranged sisters who come together to find a way to defeat some evil entity that basically killed their father. And it sounds like a very simple concept, but when you actually watch it, there's so much substance to it. It's still a low budget movie. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a 10 out of 10. It's still a low budget film. Most of the kills in the movie are gunshots. They're not even like the most, or hangings. That's the other thing. Like a couple of people get hung. So, we're not getting I think one guy gets his eyes ripped out. That's probably, and it's CG as hell. So that's probably the goriest kill in the movie. But the movie definitely doesn't rely on its gore. It's definitely relying more on the backstory of the Jester as a character, what the Jester represents, and how people deal with the Jester, because you can actually have him in your life and he won't necessarily kill you or attack you. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into it, but think the Babadook. If you kind of remember what the Babadook represented in that movie, then I would say the Jester is like a low budget Babadook. Obviously not with nearly as good as acting and filmmaking and everything else, but I mean, it's exactly 90 minutes, so it's a quick watch. I think I watched it either on Tubi or Pluto. It's available for free. Oh, it's Tubi. I watched it on Tubi. So, like I said, it's only from 2023. Be prepared for, maybe not the greatest camera work and not the greatest acting, though I will give the actors credit that they actually do try. Like there's a couple of emotional scenes in the movie where, because they're not like, A-list actors, you can, I don't want to say it comes off as cheesy necessarily, but you can kind of tell, okay, well, this isn't, Al Pacino and, Meryl Streep acting. This is, more low budget actors trying to be serious. But like I said, I want to give them credit because they did pull off a lot of those scenes, very emotional thing. Like I said, so if you're going into this expecting a gore fest, you're not going to get it. This is definitely more on the psychological side. It is solidly a horror film with a supernatural villain. But like I said, it definitely leans harder towards psychological thriller. So I would also, like I said, I recommend Toxic Avenger. I would also recommend this one, not as strongly, obviously, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that watch this and still think that it's just cheesy and not really worth watching. But when I watch movies like this, where I go into it knowing that they're low budget, I tend to give them a little bit more slack. I give them a little bit of a break, and I'm glad I did with this one because I actually really enjoyed it. And now I'm looking forward to going to see the second one. So there it is, The Jester 2023. Check it out on Tubi.
Oh yeah.
The Jester, is there a second one, or is that a different Jester movie?
No, that's basically what I've been saying for the last 5 minutes, is that I watch this because I want to watch The Jester 2. Thanks for paying attention, buddy.
Yeah, come on, Mike.
It played in theaters for like one night and I missed it. But I am gonna watch it, so I wanted to watch the first one. So there you go.
Is the second one rated about the same, or are you not sure?
I'm not sure because the first one was a TV movie. It was rated TV 14. Like I said, it's not gory. It is not, if you're looking for gory, impressive looking kills, The Jester is not the movie for you. This is solidly. It's a psychological thriller that advertises itself as a slasher, but I think it's more solidly a psychological thriller. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much because I may have already given away too much by even comparing it to the Babadook, but it's the closest thing I could think of. And since that movie is considered upper echelon psychological thriller, I wanted to bring up The Jester. So yeah, there you go.
It's The Jester.
You suggester The Jester.
Oh God, yeah. I hate you.
I've seen clips of it on like YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, it's a silly movie. I mean, it's like I said, it's not anything that you're going to write home about. It's not going to change your worldview. But for whatever it's worth, it was a surprise. Whereas I was expecting a cheesy slasher, I end up with a very emotional psychological thriller. So I'm actually happy with that. So I'm looking forward to the second one.
Nice.
And I'll probably bring it up here after I watch it.
Nice.
There you go.
ID, what you got?
Okay, so I watched Weapons.
Woo!
Yeah, that movie was fucking nuts.
Yo, man. Don't get me started. It took Mike and Don them shutting me up to get me to stop talking about Weapons. I mean, Weapons is solid.
Zombie Benedict Wong.
That was, oh man, and what great casting, because the fact that Benedict Wong could get his eyes to pop out of his head like that without CGI or any kind of makeup effects,
it was so creepy,
casting, right? Yeah. It was perfect. It was awesome.
That's probably the number one image that sticks with me from like when someone brings up that movie.
Yep. It's either that or the kid with the clown makeup, or the kid with Gladys's makeup in that one flashback. Like that's the shot that I always think of when they say Weapons. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with Derek. It's my number 2 movie of the year, and it's only number 2 by like a half a point at most. But Sinners obviously spoke to me in so many levels that I can't imagine anything's gonna top Sinners this year. But yeah, Weapons is spectacular. Go ahead, Derek.
Oh yeah, I love like you got the Silver Surfer in there, and you got Thanos. A lot of Marvel people, like.
Yeah, you
But
got
anyway,
Wong.
yeah, you got Juan. You got Aunt Gladys, played by fucking Amy Madigan. Fucking, she's awesome in it.
I
Fucking,
uh
oh,
I
good.
know I know we brought this up on when we did the Fresh Cuts episode, but I thought it was kind of like a happy or a fortunate like what do you call it, like recasting, because Pedro Pascal had to drop out and Josh Brolin stepped in as the angry father. And actually,
Yeah,
like, I think Pascal would have been fine because he's a fine enough actor. But and of course I probably have bias because we saw the finished product with Brolin. But when I envision the two actors in my head, I actually think Brolin is a better fit for like that role than Pascal would have been.
absolutely. Like Brolin has actually successfully played villains in the past. Obviously, played the biggest villain in the MCU. Whereas Pedro doesn't really have a history of playing a lot of villains. And not to say that the character that Josh Brolin plays is a villainous character, but he's a pissed off father. And considering some of the things that he does in the movie, he does have a slight villainous tinge to him. And Pedro, I think, might have been slightly out of place. I mean, I agree with you. He probably would have done a stellar job. I mean, I love Pedro Pascal. I like him in everything I've seen him, literally everything I've seen him in. I think he's great. But Brolin absolutely nailed it. I mean, he's just got that standing bitch face that's perfect for that role.
Yeah, he feels like he feels like one of those dads that's already kind of perma angry about something, even if there wouldn't have been a tragedy, and this just like adds to his rotten day already, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zach Krager, like, I followed him when he used to be like part of the Whitest Kid You Know, uh, which actually, ironically enough, a lot of this movie was based on like the loss of his like actually one of his co-stars from that movie,
Uh-huh.
uh, for that show actually. So that's kind of an interesting aspect how he actually created this movie to express his mourning per se, which I kind of found that aspect of it really cool. And weirdly enough, there's so many like other like Sarah Paxton shows up. But, like, I haven't seen her since like fucking Shark Night. Like,
And Justin Long actually
yeah,
survived a horror movie.
yeah, yeah. And young Han Solo's in this as the dirty cop.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a lot of good. Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, the kind of parallel storytelling where we get different characters' views. I mean, the Zach already said that he based the movie at least in its kind of presentation on Magnolia, which obviously is a stellar
Yeah,
film.
yeah. That's the first thing I thought of when they did the chapters and shit was Magnolia.
Exactly, yeah. And I remember when we reviewed it, I brought up that episode of The Simpsons where they do like Bart's Day, Lisa's Day, and Homer's Day. Just as I figured that example, more people have probably seen The Simpsons than Magnolia, so I figured that would be the more, especially for our audience. But yeah, solidly Magnolia. But like I said, the performances, the gore, the kills. I mean, the movie's near flawless. Gladys was spectacular. The little kid, even the kid, our protagonist, when the decision that he makes at the end, just it left me with an absolute ear to ear grin. I loved it. And those goddamn little kids running around like zombies, running through fucking windows and doors. I love it. I don't care. All 3 times that I saw that movie in theaters, people were laughing, and that's fine because the sight of about 24 kids chasing an old woman down the street is mildly comical. But then once you get the final product of her fucking
Yeah, it's like
sorry,
some dark
yeah,
humor.
exactly. Sorry, I almost got into spoilers there. Yeah, I definitely don't want to spoil this because if you haven't seen Weapons, folks, please go see it. It's a movie that needs to be seen in theaters. It's gorgeous. It has an amazing score, beautiful sound design. I mean, there's no reason. Obviously, it's too late to see it in IMAX, but it is still playing in theaters. So if you haven't seen it, by all means, check it out.
Yes,
Next.
I concur. All right, so I watched a little movie that I guess technically it's 2024. I had no clue that this even existed till very recently, and it's called Book of the Dead. And if that sounds familiar, you're like, hey, that kind of sounds like an Evil Dead thing. Well, it is kind of a homage to Evil Dead. It's like a little low budget movie. You will probably recognize the setup. A group of kids end up in an old villa in the countryside. So, like, a little play on like the cabin in the woods, similar, not the same. And they come across the Necronomicon. Now, it's been a couple weeks since I watched it, so I don't know if they actually refer to it as a Necronomicon, but it's very clearly modeled after this. Now, what makes this as like more of a homage and like not quite like a remake is in this movie they are they are more actually battling the book itself rather than deadites or Kandarian demons, because as you would notice if you throw this on, it is low budget. It's young filmmakers on this one, and so they're trying to probably scrap together what resources they have, and they made it like a pretty like fun little movie. It's nothing spectacular, nothing that's gonna like end up on lists. Although since it's last year, it couldn't go on a list this year anyway. But the cover art is what drew me in at initially because it just looks really cool. Whoever drew that up, it may be AI generated. I couldn't tell you, but it just looks cool with like a demon, a book, a ninja, everyone kind of dressed up in different costumes. But I would recommend this to anyone who's a fan of Evil Dead, anything related to Evil Dead, any of them really. I mean, they obviously take most inspiration from like the Raimi Evil Deads just because of the setup, and they kind of keep it like simple. And we do get some demon, like Kandarian demon stuff in here. It's just you could tell they're not quite at the level of being able to manufacture special effects
You know
as
what they
like
need in this movie?
what?
Tony the Pimp.
Tony the Pimp.
She's a friend of mine, god damn it.
I think he would make any movie better. Even if he just gets off his famous line, yeah. But yeah, I mean it does have some of the pitfalls of being like a lower budget movie. Like there's probably some more lulls in it that would happen in a more like compared to a more accomplished movie. But I think it has charm to it, and you can see what they're going for, and you just think like this is probably what something would look like if we tried to do it on these resources at in young and make it a homage. So, Book of the Dead. Anyone else happen to see this one? Nope.
No.
No, honestly. It was surprising, actually. I would normally love Necronomicon movies, but no, I have not.
What did you watch
Yeah.
that on Tubi?
Where did I see it? I don't think it was Tubi. I'll have to like
Investigate.
yeah, I'll investigate it. I'll find it because and oh yeah, the last thing, the actual design of the Necronomicon, that's probably where we get our like most cool looking like effects, because since like they're kind of battling it, you do get like some
Stop motion.
stuff. It's more like it's somewhere like between. It's not like animatronics so much, but like they do. They must have the book like rigged up to something because it is
Oh my
moving.
god, are
Your
you telling
eyes
me
are
that
looking
this
around.
book's the fucking monster book from Harry Potter?
Yeah, in a way, sort of, yeah. But yeah, check that out. I would say anyone who's a fan of just the Evil Dead property, any of it, check it out.
Okay.
And with that, back to you, Venom.
Okay, sorry about that. I was muted. Haha. Let's see, where am I here? Oh, okay. Third movie. This is gonna be my turkey of the month, unfortunately. I did not enjoy this movie in any way, shape, or form. But this one actually is coming to us again from 2024. This one is called Fear Cabin, The Last Weekend of Summer. In this one, six
Oh, it
friends.
sounds great.
Oh, it sounds amazing. I watched it because it was an hour and 15 minutes long, and I figured, I can get a quick movie in and add to my numbers. And yeah, I ended up regretting it. Because this one is pretty bad, friends. You've got bad acting, bad effects, a bad antagonist, a very uncompelling story, and a very unsatisfying ending, all wrapped around the micro budget cheesiness of, independent cinema. So, unfortunately, I don't really want to get too much into the antagonist because it's a little bit of a spoiler because it is a bit of a surprise. But yeah, basically, 6 friends go to the woods. They're at a cabin. They start to get attacked by something, either in the woods or maybe is it in the house? You'll have to find out. But yeah, I say it like I actually want somebody to watch it. No, folks, avoid this movie. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Obviously, if you're a big fan of indie cinema, go ahead and check it out. I usually am, but this one just kind of left me very unsatisfied. I honestly, even with the hour and 15-minute runtime, I almost didn't finish it. It just left me so unsatisfied. But the more I put off stopping it, I'm like, might as well finish it. Might as well finish it. And then once I finished it, I just regretted it anyway. So yeah, not much more I can say about that one. Like I said, another Tubi, not a Tubi original, at least to my knowledge. But it might be. I don't remember if I saw Tubi's logo at the beginning as a production company.
Tubi.
But yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of Cabin in the Wood type movies and you just like to watch all of them, then go ahead and check out Fear Cabin. Another reason that I actually checked it out is because it has the star of one of my favorite movies of all time in it. Jeremy London, who played Randall Pink Floyd in 1993's Dazed and Confused, which, for those who don't know, Dazed and Confused is the movie that I've seen the most in my life, bar none. I'm not saying it's my favorite movie ever. No, I'm saying it's the movie that I've seen the most because back in college, and of course for me, college was way back in the 90s. We only had like 1 or 2 movies in the house. I think we had like Freddy's Dead and Dazed and Confused, and we hated Freddy's Dead, so we just watched Dazed and Confused like crazy. Anyway,
Affleck should have won an Oscar.
Dude, Affleck was great in that movie. Honestly, everybody's great in that movie. I mean, it's funny because Dazed and Confused is basically a movie about nothing. Like nothing really happens. It's basically
a day in the life of like the
exactly. It's a day in the life of a bunch of high school seniors on the last day of school. That's it. There's no big catalyst event. There's no big drama. I mean, I guess the biggest drama is whether Pink is going to play football next season, which is kind of silly. Movie. That's pretty much the movie, yeah. But anyway, like I said, if you're if you're into the counterculture at all, I would highly recommend Dazed and Confused. I'll leave it at that.
All right.
But yeah, Jeremy London was in this movie, and I saw his name on the movie poster, and I'm like, oh well, let me give it a shot. At least somebody I like is in it. And what's funny is that dude doesn't age. I mean, that guy's got to be near 50, and he still looks like Randall Pink Floyd. I couldn't get over it. Like the man does not age. But anyway, point of the matter is, I didn't enjoy the movie. I think I gave it like a 2.5 out of 10. Like, I hate to shit on movies because, somebody bled and sweat and cried, to get this movie made. And I appreciate all filmmakers, all of them, no matter how micro budget they are. So I don't really like shitting on people's art, but the fact of the matter is I didn't really have a good time with this movie. I didn't like the antagonist. I didn't like any of the protagonists, and the ending was very unsatisfying. So I guess I'll leave it at that.
Good times.
Yeah, good times.
Was Jeremy the one in the fucking Carrie 2, or was that Jason?
Yes. No, okay. Yeah, that was Jeremy.
I just want to fuck you. I remember he had the one line, I just want to put it in your bum. Oh, that was a legit line from Carrie 2. Okay, I'm moving on now. Sadly. Okay. So I don't actually have another movie to talk about, so I'm going to talk about something that comics. I've been buying a lot of comics lately. You guys have been seeing my posts. Yeah. And I read this one right away because I was kind of curious on it. It's kind of horror related, and that is Deceased. Get it?
Actually, I wanted to watch that myself because I actually have some of the deceased Funko Pops, like deceased Batman and Joker and whatnot.
Yeah, this comic was fucking cool. It's from the same guy who wrote like the Injustice comic. Fucking it's nuts. It starts out with a bang where like Darkseid actually awakens like the anti-life equation and it fucking backfires and blows up the whole fucking apocalypse. And it sends like this virus that's actually through like it's kind of like Stephen King's Cell, where it's like the virus is passed through like technology or bite. If you get the virus through the technology, you turn right away, but the bite, it's like kind of like a zombie bite. But yeah, it pretty much turns everyone in the DC universe into zombies. Like fucking Batman fucking dies right away. I was fucking shocked by that. Fucking Green Lantern gets killed by Black Canary, and then she gets the Green Lantern powers. I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Then Superman gets infected, and it's fucked. But that's one thing you don't want is a fucking zombie Superman.
Yeah, an unkillable zombie. Oh fuck.
Yeah. It gets pretty bloody and gory. Like when like you just see fucking heroes go left and right getting torn apart. Like Mr. Terrific, you just fucking he gets ripped in half. It's fucking nuts. Like it was great. Like anything like horror related, it's cool. Like the whole like that's why I love grabbing like these DC compact comics line because they're like smaller versions of like the actual comics. It's just easier just for me to carry and shit. Like if because I'm always on the go. But yeah, this was a good one. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of comics and DC in general, or even like horror comics, which we don't really get an abundance of. There's a few of them out there that I'm very curious on. I have a few Marvel ones that I got to read, but yeah, good shit. Deceased.
Nice. And while you're on that point, I'm going to go ahead and just give an extra one. For those who have access to Disney Plus, Marvel Zombies season 1 has finally been released. It's only going to be a quick 4-episode season. It's like a mini series, if you will, or a limited series. But I did watch the first episode, and I can say it is fucking awesome. So yeah, if you guys watched the What If series from Disney Plus, they did an episode called Zombies in season 1 of What If, and basically this series is a continuation of that storyline. So
Cool.
I mean, to see some of just like Derek was Superman as a zombie, you've got Spider-Man and you've got Iron Man Captain America is almost unstoppable as a zombie. It's amazing. So yeah, if you, like I said, if you have access to Disney Plus, by all means, and you like Marvel, obviously, I can't imagine this is something that Mike will jump on necessarily, not being a big comic book fan, but yeah, Marvel Zombies is currently available. Check it out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna try to check out after we record this.
Yeah, I'll watch episode 2.
Well, from my last what we watched, it's funny you bring that up because that actually is my third pick. Uh, yeah, you are correct.
Bullshit.
I don't watch. No, serious. I don't watch a lot of Marvel or comic book stuff anymore. But I actually I'm pretty much sure I own the entire run of the Marvel Zombie comics.
Nice.
Because it kind of got out there. Like, I don't know how familiar you guys are with it beyond just the concept, but it started pretty like a standard story, but zombies within like the MCU or Marvel world, I guess. And then as it, like, I think by like the fourth book, because I bought the hardcover versions. It's a little much for me to like keep up on like each issue as they come out, so I kind of wait for the hardcovers. By like I think it was like the third or fourth, it starts to get out there because they try they're trying to make it linear, but the problem is like there's so much devastation that like eventually they have to start going to some more like obscure superheroes, and like they're mixing things in like I have like Ash versus like Marvel Zombies book. I have one where like Howard the Duck shows up as like a Marvel superhero. And so it gets all sorts of crazy. So I own I think the entire run, unless like years later they like did some follow-ups. Those I might not have if they exist. But anyway, so yeah, I actually saw the trailer for this I think like a month or two ago, and I couldn't remember when the release date was. And a few days ago at work, I was actually throwing on Disney Plus just to throw on some like Simpsons in the background while I worked, and up in the little feature selection was Marvel Zombies, and I was like, okay, I'll rewatch the trailer because I think I watched it on like a laptop at the time, and when I clicked into it, it was like oh shit, like the episodes are actually available. So I've only watched the first two, but I think it's pretty amazing. Like it is definitely
Yeah,
a way,
see?
yeah, to get me to watch some comic book stuff. The inclusion of Blade, like Blade is so awesome
Spoilers.
in this. Um
I mean,
that's
everybody's going to show up eventually. It's not that much of a spoiler.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, obviously, we're only getting 4 episodes this time. I can't imagine they're going to finish the story in 4 episodes. So I'd imagine we'll get another season or another
yeah,
limited series.
I saw some articles talking about like possible concepts for season two from the actual makers. I just didn't want to read it because at the top of the article it said contains spoilers for the first
Yeah.
season. So I was like, okay, I'm not reading this yet.
yeah.
So it looks like there is going to be more. But so far, I'm loving what I see.
Yeah.
I hope they do Blood Hunt. That'd be amazing.
I hope they do Maximum Carnage. It's a storyline from the 90s that I absolutely loved. But the thing is, it was the introduction for Carnage. And they kind of already did that with the second Venom movie. So I don't know if they would really want to, revisit it. But Maximum Carnage was so goddamn spectacular. I mean, it's one of the things that made me Mr. Venom, if you will. I solidly fell in love with Venom after Maximum Carnage. I was already a fan right from his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man number, 298 from May 1988. And yeah, goddamn. But once I read through Maximum Carnage, it pretty much became my favorite Marvel series. I like Old Man Logan too, but Maximum Carnage just speaks to me.
No, I hear you. Like I just picked up the Blood Hunt like fucking comic, and I'm curious on that one. Where it's
Nice. I've always heard good things. I've never read it.
yeah, like I guess it's like about like the vampires of the Marvel universe trying to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Cool.
That's
Yeah,
it for what we watch.
I think
Wow.
Unless you want me to
Wait.
talk about Fantastic Four.
I mean,
Fantastic Four.
I watched a movie called Rounding on Shudder. It is a 2025. It's just not very horror, so like that's why I didn't include.
By
it
the
in my
way,
list.
Ralph Ineson as fucking Galactus in the Fantastic Four movie was the fucking chef's kiss.
Yeah, it really was. I first I was actually upset when I heard they were doing Galactus in the very first movie because Fantastic Four is all about Doctor Doom, but with the last two garbage Fantastic Four movies that we got, they did Doctor Doom and they did him so terribly that I guess the MCU decided to go in a different direction. So when they announced that Galactus was going to be in the very first Fantastic Four movie, I was actually worried, but goddamn, Ralph Ineson just nailed it. That performance was spectacular.
Dude,
The voice,
the scene where he like picks up the tree and smells it.
Yeah.
It's like, probably like, he hasn't done this in a while. Like this.
No, it was great. And the Fantastic Baby was. I mean, that movie was overall really good. No,
Yeah.
I really liked it. It seems like the MCU now is good for like one really good movie every year, and then the
By the
others...
way, fucking Johnny Storm actually did a lot of things in that movie, like he does in like any of the other Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah. I was actually struck with how little Mr. Fantastic does. I mean, the Fantastic Four is literally named for Mr. Fantastic, and he doesn't do a whole lot in this movie. Like Johnny Storm is definitely the MVP, with Sue Storm maybe being like the secondary MVP. But yeah, Mr. Fantastic's almost not there. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining either because I love the movie. So rock on.
Hell yeah.
All right, what's next?
The
Any news?
The only real news I had, which there's not too much conclusions we can draw from it, is Jordan Peele's next movie that was supposed to come out October 2026 got taken off the schedule with no reschedule or re-announcement date. So
I'm wondering if that's fallout from the Long Walk fiasco. I don't know if you guys know about the whole Long Walk thing, but Jordan Peele wanted the rights to the Long Walk. When they first announced that King was going to be selling the film rights to the movie, Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw Productions tried to get it. They actually, from the story that I understand, and obviously, take it with a grain of salt, obviously. But the story that I had heard was that Jordan Peele told his manager, I want the Long Walk. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much we have to spend. I want that license. Well, as it turns out, Zach Kreger ended up getting that license. And the problem is that Jordan Peele and Zach Kreger have the same agent. So, of course, Jordan Peele fired his agent after he lost out on the Long Walk. So I'm wondering if his next movie getting postponed is because he's on the hunt for a new agent. I don't know. I'm speculating, like I said, but I know he was really pissed off about not getting the Long Walk. And man, as much as I love the Long Walk, I would have loved to have seen Jordan Peele's version of it. Just the curiosity aspect of it.
Yeah, it might also do it because his last movie that just came out, him sucked.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, see, that's the problem with Monkey Paw Productions is they put Jordan Peele's name on everything they do, whether he actually does anything for the movie.
I know
or
he was
not.
just like a producer,
Yeah, he did nothing for him. He literally did nothing. He put his name on as a producer because it's Monkey Paw Productions. That's it. But the thing is that if you always put your name on every movie your production company does, eventually you're going to put out some crap.
Blumhouse.
Yeah, exactly. Blumhouse. So, hopefully Jordan learns a lesson. Don't put your name on every single fucking movie that your production company does. Cause you're not John Carpenter, so stop. Ultimately, people like Carpenter and Craven, they've earned getting their name on a movie, even if they don't do a whole lot on it. Peele, yes, he's had 3 great movies. Well, some people might differ on that opinion. I still say he's made 3 great movies. But yeah, it is sad to see his next movie getting postponed, but at least, we got Guillermo's Frankenstein coming out soon, which will appease me for a little while, and Robert Eggers' next one. So, I got stuff to tide me over until Peele gets his shit together.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of this is related somehow, just to the extent we don't know.
You never know.
Oh, here's a little piece of news. Since I was just talking about The Jester 2 hits VOD on October 17th for anybody who's interested. So
Woohoo!
there you go. I'll be able to watch the sequel now. I'm actually looking at the poster. It looks like they updated the mask. The mask doesn't look exactly the same, which
Oh no.
I wonder if it's the same. Because that's the thing. They leave it open where maybe.
Watch it be like the fucking Boy too.
Oh God, no! Stop! Don't even joke about that. Don't put that in the universe. Terrible. Not much news. I'm looking through some of my spots, and nothing's really coming out as newsworthy, if you will. Oh, the next VHS movie is going to be all Halloween. That's awesome.
Ooh.
VHS Halloween comes out.
Did they announce the directors?
Let's see. I'll click on the article and see. Latest
If not, I
entry.
can just look it up later.
Yeah, more than likely. No, it doesn't look like it says anything about directors. There is a trailer out though, so if you watch trailers,
maybe I'll watch that.
Yeah, there is a trailer out.
Those ones I don't mind watching it because they give like small fucking snippets.
Okay, here we go. I did find the list of directors. So you've got Anna Slakovic from Appendage, You've got Paco Plaza from Wreck.
Oh, I fucking love Paco Plaza.
Hell fucking yeah, dude. I mean, his last movie was my number one movie of that year. So, goddamn, I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. We've got Casper Kelly from Adult Swim Yule Log, which I never watched. We got Alex Ross Perry from Video Haven and somebody named Brian Ferguson, who I don't recognize. But yeah, that's your list of directors. But the trailer is available, so go check it out.
So the Paco Plaza one is probably going to be the highlight of that one.
I couldn't imagine it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, one of the other directors just, pulls lightning out of a bottle, then maybe, but
yeah, I really
Paco
love
Plaza's...
the last one with the fucking stork.
Dude, I was shocked at the last VHS movie. Like, once again, just like with Fantastic Four and them doing Galactus early, I was just kind of shocked at I didn't think I was going to like it because it was sci-fi. VHS Beyond, they had announced it as it's going to be more sci-fi than horror, but ultimately it was still very horror.
Yo, that one with the fucking dogs, that fucked me up.
Yeah. Oh, good boy. That was awesome. But even I've watched VHS Beyond like 4 or 5 times now, and that last one really strikes me more and more every time I watch it. It's the weirdest one of the bunch because, some people might not even ultimately put it together that the woman is turning into a creature. But, I've watched that, like I said, 4 or 5 times, and that particular segment, I see something different every time. So yeah, and that's the one that was written by Mike Flanagan and directed by his wife Katie Siegel. So that was I gotta say VHS Beyond is now in my top 3 VHS movies. Behind 94 and VHS 2. Wow. I mean. If they want to do another sci-fi entry, be my guest. Because the reason I wasn't excited is I'm not a sci-fi guy. Like my wife is the Trekkie and the big Star Wars fan and everything else. Like I attend just because she does, and admittedly, I do like a lot of Star Wars stuff, but she's the big sci-fi person. So I was not looking forward to us doing that movie. And then we watched it and I'm like, this was fucking awesome. And it was absolutely horror. Just because it had a sci-fi tinge didn't take away from the horror, which was my concern. I thought that they were going to be doing straight sci-fi stories, but nah, it was still very horrific.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys watched Andor?
No, I never did watch Andor, believe it or not. I wanted to.
I saw the first season. I didn't watch the second one.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me. I gotta watch it. It's just one of those things I just never got around to doing. You know
what the problem is I think it is because we saw Rogue One, so we already know where this is going to end.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Is the stakes aren't as high when you already know they're all dead.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do? But I mean, I still do want to see it for whatever it's worth. I like that character. That character in Rogue One was great. So I do want to see, both seasons. I just, like I said, haven't gotten around to it.
What I appreciate about it, and kind of like Rogue One as well, is they're really good quality without being super handcuffed or tied to like the Skywalker legacy, because it seems like a lot of Star Wars properties, like even when that's not the main focus, it's like they always got to come back around to like, oh look, here comes someone from the original trilogy to punctuate like whatever is going on. Where Rogue One, like obviously within the timeline, it's relevant to the original trilogy, but it still feels like its own thing. And then Andor, because it leads up to Rogue One, it's like, damn, it feels like very timely too. With the themes going on and what they're kind of fighting against. But I thought it was really good. So I would recommend it when you got the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I did watch The Acolyte, or should I say I started The Acolyte and then stopped it because I hated it. I did not like The Acolyte. It was Gen Z Star Wars, which inherently I don't have a problem with, millennials or Gen Z or whatever. I've spoken about this before on past shows, but that show, I just couldn't get into it. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes and it did nothing for me, so I had to stop. And that might
Yeah.
be why I didn't jump on Andor right away. Even though Andor, the first season of Andor was before The Acolyte, for some reason, I decided to start watching The Acolyte and regretted it.
I wanted to like it so much too because there's some actually good actors in it, but like the first episode, you kill Carrie Ann Moss right at the fucking first 5 minutes of the show.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. You cannot do that to hardcore Star Wars fans. Come on now.
Yeah, I also just think like Star Wars is one of those things where, and this is could just be like a preference thing, but I just don't think Star Wars works the same when it's just like a content machine. Like when I didn't necessarily grow up with Star Wars because I was too young when like the original ones came out. I think by the time Return of the Jedi came out, I was maybe
3.
that age. Yeah. But like from the end of the third one to Phantom Menace, it was like because there was like so few properties related to it other than like, specials and behind the scenes stuff, but like once it became just like content like any other property, to me it just lost kind of like the special feeling about it when it's like, oh, let's just release a Star Wars related thing every single year. And it's like, okay, it's just like anything else. Like I don't know.
I wouldn't say like the prequels. The prequels are still Lucas, you know what I mean? But the sequels definitely fucking fuck those movies.
I mean, I'm not high on the prequels either, but the sequels are just, God, like, oh man, I don't even want to go down this rant.
I think I was the right age for the prequels because
Yeah, if you were young, definitely. But I was, I was already in my 20s when the prequels came out. And yeah, they did nothing for me. It felt like some kind of political grandstanding with the whole Senate and shit. It didn't feel like the space Western that the original Star Wars trilogy was.
Yeah.
It felt like Lucas tried to make something bigger, but he didn't need to. He could have just given us another solid story with great characters. But instead he turned it into a fucking political discourse. So yeah. I did enjoy what do you call it? Revenge of the Sith. I actually
it's the best one.
Love that movie. Yeah, I thought it was great. I had a great time with General Grievous. Was awesome. The final fight at the end was great. I mean, all around, Revenge of the Sith was pretty cool. I definitely have a different opinion than Mike on the sequel trilogy because I thoroughly love The Force Awakens. Now, The Last Jedi is going to be the one that's going to be the most contentious. I still do enjoy it. I actually did a commentary for Last Jedi with a friend of mine, Lost Lobo, and I actually ended up liking the movie a lot more than I remembered when I saw it in theaters, especially that scene with Kylo and Luke. That was very contentious to people when it first came out. Admittedly, Rise of Skywalker feels like they just didn't know how to end the story.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like they ran out of legacy characters to bring back, so they're like, oh, let's bring this one back. We can't bring back Darth Vader, so we'll bring back this guy.
We can't actually have Carrie Fisher in this movie.
Exactly. So, I mean, admittedly, Rise of Skywalker is probably the one I've seen the least. I think I've only seen it once.
I only saw it once in theaters. Yeah.
I think I saw it one other time after that because I do own the 4K. I own every Star Wars movie on 4K because I kind of have to have them. More for Mrs. Venom than for myself, but still, it's not like I really mind watching them all that much. But yeah, anytime she wants to watch Phantom Menace, I usually find a poker game to go to.
Yeah, I mean, I think out of those three, I think The Force Awakens I like the best, but that's because it kind of models itself after A New Hope.
No, it is. It's true. I'll say it. I mean, but that's the thing is like, you can't make everybody happy. George Lucas with A Phantom Menace made something completely different than the original trilogy, and people hated it. So then J.J. Abrams comes in and says, all right, you want A New Hope too? I'll give you A New Hope too. And people still fucking complain. It's like you can't make everybody happy. But ultimately, I think Force Awakens was awesome. I love the introduction of Kylo Ren. I love the introduction of Rey. Finn was okay. He didn't do a whole lot for me.
the thing is with the sequel trilogies, because there was so many fucking hands in the cookie jar, it feels that way because you have
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams doing this one movie, but then you have Ryan Johnson taking a whole different direction.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. That's my thing. Is like, the hell was it called? The Ryan Johnson one.
Where well,
Last Jedi?
Last
actually,
Jedi. The thing about The Last Jedi is, I think if you view that in the context of its own movie in a vacuum, without anything you know about the original trilogy characters, it works. But I think you have. To me, there's Ryan Johnson's vision of like what the some of the characters, their decisions, their motivations. To me, it's too much of a leap based on what
fucking
we
Fenn always
already
has
know.
a different girlfriend in each movie too.
Yeah, like I just don't believe that is Luke Skywalker. Like I don't. To me, it's too much of a leap that that's kind of
Right.
how he ended up. And Mark Hamill kind of validated that in his interview. He said he had a tough time, but he conceded. He said, "But because that's your vision, and I'm agreeing to do it. I'm going to do it the best I can." He wasn't bad at it. It's just
No.
and to me, it's like the seventh movie in a story seems like a little late in the game to be like, oh, I'm just
Right.
going to make this character.
And that's the only thing that sucks about like all the new Disney shows that come out is because I feel like they're trying to explain shit in
Yeah.
between.
Mhm.
Exactly. No, I mean, because to Mike's point about, Luke not feeling like Luke, it's like ultimately we were away from Luke Skywalker for what, upwards of 30 years between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So it's not, or the end of Force Awakens. So ultimately, even though we did get a little bit of a recap of what he did, he started a Jedi Academy, he had his situation with Kylo, blah, blah, blah. But we don't know everything that happened to Luke during that time. Because then there's the events of The Mandalorian, which were also kind of, we were slowly catching up with. So, ultimately, I'm not going to bitch too much about Luke not being Luke because, big surprise, Mr. Venom is not the same Mr. Venom he was 30 years ago. So people change. Shit happens,
Like, I love like the animated shit too. Like I watched fucking all of Clone Wars, which actually made the fucking prequels a little bit better too, because it fills in all those loose ends too.
Exactly. Yeah. Rebels, Clone Wars, all those.
Bad Batch.
They're all really good for filling in the blanks. Absolutely. My favorite of the animated ones is actually one that nobody ever talks about anymore. It's the old Clone Wars cartoon done by Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yeah. That one's pretty good.
That's my favorite Star Wars animation, bar none. That was our first introduction to Ventress Savage. I fucking love, and I'm so excited.
I'm so happy she's live action. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, we're finally getting her live action. We're finally getting more collectibles of her because for years the collecting community was clamoring for more Ventress stuff, but we never got it. But hopefully now that we're getting a live action, hopefully, yes, we will.
Yeah, Mike, you should watch the Clone Wars.
How the hell did we get into this deep a Star Wars conversation on our horror movie podcast?
Dude, previously on No More Room in Star Wars.
No more room in the galaxy.
No more room on the Jedi Council.
Oh God.
I have my Liam Neeson action figure. That's all that matters.
Nice. I got my Qui-Gon Funko Pop. I'm good.
I have an ornament.
Oh, did you get those ones where it's like the Duel of the Fates fight and you can connect them?
Yeah. And you put them all. I haven't taken them out of the box because I'm an inbox guy. But I have them.
I have a Duel of the Fates Christmas ornament with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan on one side and Darth Maul on the other side. And you turn on the switch and it lights up the shield between them.
That's cool.
The thing that actually helps me too with the prequels is Lucas also fucking said it kind of instated it with the fucking John Williams store too. #Fates.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars. The prequels are pretty much like a Greek tragedy. Well, the whole show is like the Greek tragedy.
Mm-hmm. But definitely the prequels. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get back into some horror, shall we?
Yeah, let's talk about the most non-horror movie ever. In a second.
I guess one of the movies qualifies, but
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be right back with a couple of movies.
Nice.
Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go! And now, on with the show.
All right, we are back. And this time it was my picks, and I had the great idea of, hey, it's episode 70. Let's pick two movies from 1970. Now, here's the catch. We on this show we try to pick stuff that like is less covered, not necessarily not known at all, but we try to mix it up a little because there's movies from 1970 I could have picked that were widely known that I knew we would have liked in general. So I didn't do that.
Yeah, we did two of them before, actually.
Yeah, really. So I picked a couple at random that I had never seen. I tried to, and I guess this is like a setup for like the other shoe to drop in a second, but I tried to look for ones that had like decent IMDb ratings and like what the reviews on IMDb said. And this first one, like, man, it's 6.3, which is pretty decent. And then I actually looked at like the reviews when you scroll down, and they all seem decent enough. Now I know that doesn't mean that like we're gonna necessarily like them as much as them, but yeah, it's called oh fuck, what's it called again? Venom?
It's probably their fucking great grandfather's movie.
Ancine Woods.
The Ancine Woods.
Yeah, Ancine Woods. Or Derek, what's the alternate title from Tubi? He said,
The Forest of the Wolf.
Forest of the Wolf.
El Bosque del Lobo.
Yeah, that's the actual title pronounced.
I wish Lobo was actually in this.
Yeah, so anyways, if you look at the box art and you read the synopsis, it could give you an idea of a totally different movie that I know I didn't watch, but maybe you guys can help clue me in here.
This movie's just a bunch of people sitting in a fucking room.
Yeah, Benito Freire is a peddler who lives miserably in an environment dominated by ignorance and superstition. He's dedicated to peddling by the Galician towns and suffers severe attacks of epilepsy. Yeah, there's a lot of that. The region begins to spread a rumor that he's a werewolf and he's possessed by a demonic spirit. Really? I would have liked that part to just show up in the movie. And so basically, yeah, it's a movie of kind of superstition. I mean, I guess it's a stretch, you could say, folk horror just because of the superstition, but I don't know. I just feel like I was kind of duped by the reviews and the synopsis and the art because, guys, what the hell's going on with this movie? Did I miss something that wasn't there? Because it's a bunch of people talking, and yes, he's having attacks of epilepsy all throughout the movie. But a good movie that does not make, and unfortunately, this was like a slog. I had to watch it over like a couple attempts because like the first
I tried
time,
watching it on Tubi. I couldn't do it. It was fucking brutal.
Dude, the first time I threw it on, I was like 30-ish minutes in, and I was like, I gotta start it over because like my mind couldn't stay focused. Like
My mind's playing tricks up.
yeah,
Well, what's funny is I actually wrote that in my notes that the first act of this is all over the place. Like they introduce so many characters that do eventually come together. Like there is a cohesive narrative somewhere in there, but the first act is just like why are we following this guy who's killing people? But then suddenly we're at this aristocrat's house where he's writing letters secretly to a woman. It's like, what does one have to do with the other? Eventually it does come together. But yeah, that first act, I was confused myself.
Yeah, and he always goes after the big titted women too, which sucks.
Well, hey, to each his own.
probably the most easy to understand part of the movie. Yeah. So I just feel like this movie, it's just a slog because it feels like not a lot happens.
Happens.
Yeah, and it's like am a I mean, I like slow burns when there's a payoff. I just didn't feel like this was leading to anything. Like the way I thought it was gonna go, just because of like the setup was like, oh, they're superstitious. Oh, they're this and that. But then you're gonna get some big reveal that like, no, actually this crazy stuff was actually happening. And it's like, not really. And it's like a day in the life of a superstitious village, but their superstitions aren't bore out. Like it's just a weird epileptic dude causing problems in their village. And I would barely call it a horror movie to begin with. And like part of me is like, is there just too much lost in translation between like the origin or the original language and the subtitles to where there's context or dialogue that's not accurate enough, or is something going on?
Dude, this
It
movie
feels like a
begins with
miss.
kids fucking jerking off to a horse.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
They're like, look at this horse begging this other horse. That could be you
I
one
honestly,
day.
what's funny is I thought that was going to set up Benito to be like some kind of fucked up rapist. Because, I mean, if the first time you watch anything have sex is a horse, for those who haven't seen horses have sex, it's fucking violent. Like it's not a happy thing. It's not like there's kissing and hugging and rubbing. No, it is violent. Like the male bites down on the female's neck, and it looks like he's raping her. I mean, it looks like he's forcing himself on her. It's not a very good way to learn about sex.
Yeah.
I was convinced he was going to turn into a violent rapist, but luckily he didn't.
Yeah, and then add into like how it works on like a farm where like humans have to assist in the process, and it looks even more violent.
Exactly. I mean, I couldn't understand why the older kids were even watching it. Like, I don't remember at any point in my life wanting to watch animals fuck because I thought it was erotic or funny or I don't know. It just that was weird. Now, granted, it's 1970 and a Spanish, small village, so entertainment is obviously limited. But damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess running through the fields got boring, so they're like, "Oh, let's look over here."
I will say, I'm not sure if you were done with your general thoughts, Mike, but I will say that I didn't hate this movie. Once I kind of figured out about halfway through the movie that it's a metaphorical werewolf movie, like this movie is about lycanthropy. It's just not the lycanthropy that we're used to. It's not a human literally growing hair and growing, a big jaw and turning into a physical werewolf. But there is a real life form of lycanthropy where people have personality changes during a full moon. Like that's a documented medical condition that, people just during a full moon, they might be less inhibited or they might get a little violent or whatever, something along those lines. So once I figured out that that's what this movie was going for, I actually kind of did start to like it. Like I said, the first half is an absolute slog. Like Mike said, just trying to figure out how these people have anything to do with the other people. It's like we were watching 3 movies at once. Like we'd see Benito kill someone, and then suddenly we're at this aristocrat's house, and then suddenly we're at the house of the girl that he's writing letters to, and his father, who is a priest, doesn't want her. Midget. Yeah, it was too much. Too much to have to follow that early in the film. But like I said, about halfway through the movie, once I started to realize that Benito's little seizures were basically a form of lycanthropy, I kind of got into it. Obviously, he's a fucked up character. He's very broken. He has no forethought. I mean, he kills indiscriminately, and it's what eventually becomes his downfall. Because he can't stop himself from killing. And these are, some of the people that he's killing are, people that are like known in the village and like, everybody knows who these people are and they know that they'll be back soon and blah, blah, blah. So it's like he just didn't have any forethought in picking his victims. So, obviously he's very much insane, if you will. If you want to call it a form of lycanthropy, I don't think it's inaccurate. But like I said, for whatever it's worth, I enjoyed the second half more than the first. Now, the ending kind of leaves you a little like, I even, as I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking if an American film team, film crew did this, the ending would have been a lot more like over the top and spectacular, if you will. Maybe not spectacular in a good way necessarily, but just, over the top and crazy. Whereas this one is kind of subdued. It's just kind of, I mean, hell, spoiler alert, Benito doesn't even really he gets caught and eventually does go to jail. We get text at the end of the movie. The movie basically ends with him being arrested. And that's never a satisfying ending for a horror movie. I mean, this guy has killed children, women, and he just gets arrested. Like, yeah, I guess it's realistic, but it's just not very satisfying as a horror fan. Like, we want to see him. Like, I honestly thought the men of the village were going to tear him apart when they had him cornered. And instead, they just call the cops. And it's like, well, again, it's 1970, so maybe they were still kind of figuring out the kind of endings that are more satisfying. I mean, I'm sure somebody was satisfied by this ending, but I myself was not. Obviously, when somebody does the horrific things that Benito does in this movie, I want to see some comeuppance. I want to see him get his, if you will. And unfortunately, I mean, he's not even attacked. Like, I thought at least a little bit of an ass whooping. Nothing. They don't touch him at all. So, yeah, definitely, it could have used a more satisfying ending. Like I said, if an American team would have made this, it would have been a much more spectacular, over the top. It would have been like a lynching type ending, which at least would have been somewhat satisfying. And obviously, the fact that this guy does end up in jail and he dies in prison, he's never released, is some form of satisfaction. But as a horror fan, I just didn't think it was very satisfying. But I definitely don't hate the movie nearly as much as Mike does. I was bored throughout parts of the first half, bored/confused. Like I said, just the introduction, how they introduced some of these characters, it just didn't feel very organic or fluid. You know what I mean? Like, this is a filmmaker that maybe is early in his filmmaking career. I don't know Pedro Olea all that much, but it definitely seems like he was still kind of learning what kind of movies satisfy horror fans. Because, I mean, this movie is labeled as a horror film. And I'm not going to argue necessarily whether it is or isn't. Like I said, they do kind of discuss a form of lycanthropy. Though it was kind of weird that in this movie, it wasn't triggered by the moon. It was triggered by a location. Right? Anytime he got near that well, that's when he went crazy. So it's like, so maybe it's not lycanthropy, maybe it's something else. But obviously the movie's called The Forest of the Wolf. Yeah, exactly. Something along those lines. So I don't know. That's what I mean. I mean, when you watch a movie from 1970 and it leaves you scratching your head a little bit, that's not very satisfying, because movies from 50 years ago shouldn't be ultra complicated, They should be fairly easy, palatable. Whether you like them or not, at least they should be easy to follow, blah, blah, blah. At least that's what you might expect, from something from the 70s. But yeah, this one is definitely, it's a little ambitious. Let's just go with that. I'm not going to say that it was boring or dull. I'm going to say that it was ambitious, but that this director hopefully got better with time and just learned how to make a proper horror movie. So that's it for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It was an endurance. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Venom kind of summed it up. Like, the ending, I think that's one of my issues. It's like the ending just wasn't satisfying for, I guess, the journey to get there. And that kind of soured me more on it, where if it would have led to something a little more bigger scale or something more revealing, I probably would have come up on it a little bit, but it's hard to recommend this one for me.
This movie fucking sucked.
I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Like I said, it left me feeling very weird feelings, but I didn't hate it for whatever it's worth. That, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not even saying it's good. I'm saying some of the themes were kind of cool if you dug deep. Like it's not totally on the surface. You kind of have to dig a little bit deeper. But yeah, for whatever it's worth, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
I will recommend a better movie. It's called Werewolf Woman. It kind of deals with the same subject matter as this one. Just a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit better. Plus his naked werewolf snatch.
Well, that is a definite positive. So,
Yes.
I'm going to assume it's hairy since it's werewolf.
Oh, yes. Harry Bush.
all right. Well, maybe this next one will be a little more favorable because it has the same rating on IMDb.
Is this the one with Johnny Depp? No, I'm just kidding.
This is called House of Dark Shadows. It's a vampire movie. I think this one, this definitely takes kind of like the gothic romance angle, sort of on the Dracula take. So for some people that'll work, for some people it won't. I will say that, like, in comparison, this one is, it's very much easier to follow what's going on. There's not much mystery to this one. It's fairly familiar.
Kind of basic.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's basic. Now, that doesn't, something being basic in nature doesn't necessarily make it good or bad. Just compared to like the previous movie, at least if anything, this one is like, okay, I've seen this before. I understand what's going on. Now let's see what the movie does. Yeah, what does it do on its own merit with its sets, its music, its film or cinematography, and all that. So, House of Dark Shadows. Vampire Barnabas Collins is accidentally released from a centuries-long confinement at his family's estate in Maine. He targets his clueless descendants who live there now and pursues Maggie, the incarnation of his lost love. Like I said, very kind of familiar story for a Dracula / vampire movie.
Maine? Is this a Stephen King movie?
Yeah. In the old Derry, Maine.
Fucking Dan Curtis boy.
Yeah. Derek, what do you think of House of Dark Shadows? Have you seen this before, though, right?
I actually did see this before. Years ago, though. It's been a while since I first seen this. And yeah, look, like I said, it's kind of basic in the storytelling, but, it's taken from another source material where it's kind of like adapted, but also expanded in a little bit ways in that sense, which I find kind of cool. That, like, this started out as a fucking soap opera, and then Dan Curtis was like, hey, let's make a movie version. And it's pretty cool. It has great, like Joan Benet. I always liked her, like, in movies. Fucking Jonathan Fry as Barnabas Collins, fucking iconic still.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking just when the fucking theme fucking started playing with like the fog and the atmosphere, I was like, yeah, baby, this is more my style. And man, fucking, I was actually curious because I was kind of curious, especially when certain makeup happens in the movie. I'm like, that kind of looks familiar. I wonder who did that. And I looked it up. And fucking Dick Smith worked on this movie, did even the makeup. So that gives me another fucking A+ for my opinion. But, like I said, it's kind of a basic, like, vampire tale. We've seen, like, this story done before, like, hell. It even copies some of, like, the Hammer movies in that sense. It kind of has, like, a Hammer-esque feel with some of the shit going on in it. But, yeah, overall, I dug the fuck out of House of Dark Shadows. It was a cool, like, movie adaptation to certain characters that we have seen previously in other properties. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Dan Curtis. I like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah,
can't go wrong.
I love how, like, every female in this movie is, like, in love with Dracula.
Yeah.
The women he's after and even the woman he's not after, they all.
It's weird because they're all related, so it's like weird incest shit going on.
Yeah. What did you think? Venom, is this your first time seeing this?
This actually is my first watch for this one. I've never watched the show. Now, my mother was a religious watcher of it, but at the time, I mean, I was, 5-6 years old when this thing aired. or at least in syndication. It might have been syndication that she was watching it because she watched it every day. And it just didn't really do a whole lot for me. I just didn't care about vampires at the time. I did watch that Johnny Depp Dark Shadows movie, which, if you don't take it too seriously, it's not a terrible movie. It's just not very good, honestly. And so there's that. I've never watched the series. And then the other thing I'm going to say that might surprise, well, maybe not. I don't like romantic vampire stories. It's one of those things where I'm not saying that I won't watch them or anything stupid like that. I prefer the feral vampires, the vampires that are fucking monsters, the 30 Days of Nights vampires. Those are the kind of vampires that I prefer. I mean, I'll even take the occasional Nosferatu, even though Nosferatu got very romantic on the Robert Eggers
very necromantic
remake. Exactly, yeah. So like I said, I can appreciate the gothic atmosphere. I can appreciate the Hammer-esque style of its filmmaking, its cinematography, its score. Like, it is solid. I mean, it is more British than British. It is like just an ultra British movie, and which is fine ultimately. But like I said, once I realized that it was going to be this more romantic tinge of Barnabas, basically meeting the incarnation of his one true love and, trying to start a relationship with that woman, I kind of mentally checked out. I hate to say. It's not a bad movie. It's definitely not. But it's not one that's always going to keep my attention, unfortunately. Especially when the main gist of the story is the vampire and his love interest. It's like, I want to see some people get wrecked. I want to see some people get fed on. Now, ultimately, again, it's 1970, so it's not like I expect a gore fest. This isn't a Herschel Gordon Lewis vampire movie by any stretch, though that would be awesome. But for whatever it's worth, the movie's well made, well acted, well edited. I don't have any major issues with it. It's just me personally. I'm not the biggest fan of the romantic vampire. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but I kind of like Nicolas Cage's vampire better than Barnabas Collins, because at least he's fucking brutal. There's a brutal aspect to it that makes sense. When a creature lives that long, they're gonna start to look at humans as playthings, and they're gonna start to get more brutal, more violent, and almost more like Art the Clown, where they're like getting a sense of joy out of their killing. So the whole romantic vampire thing, and then the whole thing with trying to cure the vampire curse, that took me right the fuck out of the movie. Like, I don't understand how a doctor realizes that someone is a vampire and she decides to try to help him. Now, obviously, it's because she wanted to get in his pants, and that's fine. But it's like, you have any idea how many guys or how many people this vampire has probably killed over the last 2,000 years, and you're trying to save him and make him human? Like, I don't know. Just put a stake in his damn heart and end it, But for whatever it's worth, like I said, it's very well made, very well acted. I don't want to disparage the movie. It just doesn't work for me. I would have liked to have seen Barnabas Collins come out of that grave and just decimate that family. Be like, who the fuck are you living in my house? Get out of here. That's the vampire that I enjoy. And not to say that the romantic vampire is never good. I mean, there have been examples that I've actually enjoyed. None are coming off the top of my head right now, but I know I have seen some that I genuinely enjoyed. So, for whatever it's worth, like I said, technical prowess, awesome acting, all of it, atmosphere, great. Just this kind of story just doesn't work for me. So, it's kind of hard for me to look at this as like an A+ movie, even though it might have been considered like a top-notch movie when it came out. But just since A, I didn't watch the series, and B, I don't like romantic vampires. Yeah, the movie just doesn't really do a whole lot for me. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Still enjoyed it for what it's worth, though. Like I said, like, it's still worth seeing. It's a time capsule. It's a 1970 movie based on a TV series. It's one of those, it checks off a box on my, horror checklist, if you will. So for whatever it's worth, I'm glad I watched it. But yeah, just romantic vampires, just they can go to hell.
Did you like Barnabas morphing into Grandpa from Texas?
Oh, yeah.
That actually worked for me because
it was a Dick Smith makeup. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like once things started to go bad for Barnabas, that's when I started to more get into it because I honestly thought that with his skin going shitty, that he was going to get more violent, that he was going to start just feeding on people left and right to try to get his youth back. But no, it never picks up the pace. Even with that sense of urgency of, oh shit, I now look my age. That sense of urgency just didn't feel like it was there of him just going around and just like go to a village and just take out the entire village just to try to get your youth back. Like that might have elevated the movie just a little bit for me. But like I said, it's just not my kind of thing. That's all.
Huh. No, that's cool. No, I get it, man.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, because I actually never see, because there's actually a second Dark Shadows movie that came out a year after this that I'd actually never seen. And it actually doesn't have any vampire shit in it whatsoever. So I'm kind of curious, maybe, because it's about a witch.
Ah.
Yeah, it's the witch that my wife plays in the Johnny Depp version, Eva Green. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that character. So I'm kind of curious on that one. Might actually check that one out because I'm actually kind of curious how that one goes. It's like a different cast of characters too. That takes place in like the same setting. So yeah, maybe I'm kind of curious on that. Maybe that will be like a future movie that we could do.
I mean, I'm always down to watch a vampire movie. I don't care if it's a romantic vampire, a non-violent vampire, whatever you want to go with. I'm always down to watch them. But just, going into it, I know that if this vampire is going to be overly fixated on one female, it's just not going to do it for me. At least Blackula, he fixated on multiple females. So
and Pam Grier.
And Pam Grier, goddamn. Anyway, back to you, Mike.
I do agree, Venom. Like my preference is like the tear them to shreds type vampires. I can get down
30 Days of Night.
I can get down with gothic romance vampires. They just have to have like a really good story, and I actually think they work kind of better in long form format, like a Bram Stoker's Dracula, just because the character development and when it's done like on that level, it's okay. But this one was decent enough. Like the fact that I had never seen it before probably helped a little bit. The set design still pretty good. Just I love gothic horror, how there's always like the constant rolling fog all the time. The crosses, where everything looks like it could be a cemetery, even when it's not a cemetery. It's just really cool set design.
Yeah, like the atmosphere of the movie actually makes it better for me. Like,
yeah, that's probably the high point of the movie, honestly, is its atmosphere.
It makes it fun to like just look at, like regardless of the story. That's something I've always just liked about Hammer horror, and really just like the original Universal run of monster movies. Just the sets, the locations, just it feels like so much goes into like bringing you into like the settings of these movies that it's just always well done. And I think like that carried over to the Hammer horror genre, and we saw some of it here. So I mean, that to me would be the main appeal of this. And for just
and Darren Curtis actually did get better as a director after this. Like he did like Burn Offerings, fucking Dracula with Jack Palance.
Yeah, his Dead of Night remake.
Yeah.
Which we reviewed that, didn't we, Mike, on like Evil Episodes or something? Not Evil Episodes, on like just a long time ago. I remember
we did Trilogy of Terror on this show.
That's right. Yeah, that's that one too. Yeah, I do like Dan Curtis for the most part. I think he's a decent little TV director. Obviously, Trilogy of Terror, Dead of Night, some decent stuff there.
Burn Offerings is probably his biggest movie.
Oh, hey, probably his best too. I mean, I fucking love that movie. But what are you gonna do? If he would have made this one, maybe just a little bit more visceral, I think. Like a vampire movie that doesn't have a lot of blood in it, to me, is just not very satisfying. Not to say that I'm looking for a bloodbath necessarily, but if you give me one, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I think the Night Stalker fucking
Yes.
that TV movie was fucking better than this one.
Oh, by far. Yeah. I mean, that's not necessarily a knock on this movie either. It's just the Night Stalker's great. I will say there was one character in this movie that I actually loved, Professor Stokes. I thought he was awesome. The fact that he was just so nonchalant about, oh, you've got vampires. And, you know, even though, yes, there were skeptics around him who didn't believe him, but just his conviction worked for me. You know, it's like he's dealt with them before, and now, you know, he knows the telltale signs of them. He was just very straightforward, and I like that about him. So
yeah, he's like young Brendan Gleeson. Good shit.
Oh yeah. And of course, it's a British vampire movie, so of course there's going to be some beautiful ladies to look at.
Oh, Carolyn's fucking.
Yeah,
I wish she made it for a lot more of the movie. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. But you know, and then not only is it a romantic vampire movie, it's a fucking love triangle vampire movie, which kind of sets me off even more.
One of them is like his great cousin, which is
exactly. Oh yeah, that's right. He's fucking related to that girl. God damn it. So yeah, like I said, just little elements of this style of vampire movie may not work for me, but you know, overall, it's worth seeing. I mean, I'm sure if you're a fan of the series, it's probably going to be a lot better because it's the return of Barnabas Collins. But you know, since I've never watched an episode of the show, and you know, and on top of the fact that I don't like this kind of vampire movie, it's you know, I'll give it its credit. It's filmmaking and everything else, but you know, it's hard for me to really say, oh, I'll return to this one very soon because I likely won't.
All right. Well,
that's it. Yeah, Mike, your picks always fucking amazing movies.
Yeah.
Despite the trend, or at least the running joke that we have with Mike picking bad movies, I do appreciate the fact that he'll try newer other, you know, movies that he's never seen before, or you know, because ultimately that's what we kind of pride ourselves here on. You know, we're not going to review Night of the Living Dead or fucking well, we did that on episode 1, but we won't do that
I
anymore.
didn't imagine.
No, you didn't. But I mean, you know, we kind of pride ourselves on kind of digging deep and finding movies that aren't just, you know, theatrical, you know, big budget horror films. You know, I mean, like I said, if you're looking for a review of Friday the 13th, we're not your show. But if you're looking for a review of Executive Panda, that's us.
Yeah, fucking
Koala.
White Reindeer.
Wait, was it Panda or Koala? I forgot.
It was Koala.
Executive Koala. Yeah. I will forever use that example. I fucking love that movie. Oh man.
All right. Well, we made it to 70 episodes, so I guess somewhat of a milestone.
We should get through 30 more to 100.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't wait.
All right.
We'll get there in 3 years. Woohoo!
Yeah. I was going to say, with me and Derek's schedule, we'll probably do it by 2030.
Oh, all right. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of No More Room in Hell.
This is the end of the show where we talked about a peddler and a vampire.
Venom, what do you got out for people to listen to?
Not much. Unfortunately, obviously, with work, there's not a whole lot going on. But yes, I do have No More Room in Hell presents Creature Comforts. Episode 41 is the latest episode that is available. On that one, we took a look at 1980's Night of the Beast, or Night of the Demon, Night of the Demon. Not the Linnea Quigley movie, but the Bigfoot movie from 1980.
Oh, imagine if Linnea Quigley was in that. That'd be Sasquatch. Would be like, hey, baby, let me get those titties.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Bigfoot was already rapey in that movie. With topless Linnea Quigley, forget about it. He would have gone insane. So that episode is available as we speak. Check that out. We already have our next movie picked, and if everything goes well, we're actually going to be recording this weekend, and hopefully unfortunately it's close enough to the end of the month that I'm probably not going to get the episode out before the end of September, but our September episode will be out very early in October, so look out for that. And that's pretty much it. I know I'll have a Halloween commentary with Cut to the Chase later this year.
Yeah, Halloween's coming up.
Yeah. So we have to pick a commentary for our show too, for our annual Halloween special. So
Oh, we do.
something to think about. But yeah, that's it from me. Not a whole lot, sadly. No guest spots to speak of, other than ones that might be coming up. But that's about it for me.
What about you, Derek?
I'm here, people. I'm willing to guest on your show if you want me to. But just let me know.
Free advertising right now for Derek's podcasting services.
Watch episode 10 of Friday the 13th, the series, and then join us.
Okay. Is that a bad episode?
Oh, they're all bad episodes.
Yeah, relatively.
I had flashbacks of when Mike made me watch that Mandrake episode of Monsters.
Oh God! Well, he made me watch Freddy's Nightmares, so yeah.
Technically, Gary Hill did, but
Gary Hill, yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, nothing new for me other than just Fresh Cuts stuff. So check that out. Same YouTube channel, same network. Whose picks are up next? Is it Venom or Derek?
Yeah, it's Venom's, I think.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Because we did zombie fucking.
Yeah, that's right.
Lair of the White Worm.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, I've got some ideas. We'll talk off air, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, while Venom stews on those ideas, we are going to descend back to the lake of fire. So thanks,
This
everyone.
is the end
for
of the
listening.
episode, so goodbye, everyone. The peddler was arrested and Barnabas died. The show is over. It's over now. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Peace.
Adios.